A very warm welcome to Ansarkari friends. We are working on UPSC concepts of different general studies topics for 2022 examination. I'm again reminding our key idea is that you must be aware of many important topics and how to understand keywords in them. That is why in this series we are taking up 4 key concepts in each series. So today we are taking up Qutub Minar, right to education, right to vote and child labor. Let's see details. Qutub Minar, Qutub Minar, named after Qutubuddin Aibak, the you can say Sultanate period ruler or the first one who actually helped in erection of this commemoration minaret, one of the tallest minars. It is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Another key thing is that it is linked with the name of Sufi saint Qutubuddin Bakhtiar Kaki. Bakhtiar Kaki. Chishti Silsila Sufi saint. On his name also it is supposed to be named after. It is a brick minaret. Okay, remember it is brick minaret about 72.5 meters tall. It is the tallest brick minaret in the world, and the next tallest is in Afghanistan. Qutub Minar is said to have been inspired by the minaret of Jam in Afghanistan, as I just said. So, India's first mosque, do you know where it is? It is in Qutub complex. It is known as Quwwatul Islam Mosque. So, it is not like today we see a lot of mosques having a dome like structure on the top of it. It is not having any dome. It is just a screen is there, or you can say walls are there. So Quwwatul Islam Mosque, it is part of Qutub complex commissioned by Qutubuddin Aibak, first mosque to be built in Delhi, and this mosque is one of the oldest mosque in the country. This is one of the oldest surviving example of Ghurid architecture. Named after Muhammad Ghurid architecture in Indian subcontinent. One of the earliest monuments, though we are not talking it here, of this period is Adai Din Ka Jhopda at Ajmer. So Khalji's dream, or you can say Alauddin Khalji's dream, was to create another minaret like that of Qutub Minar, but he was not able to do so. And the role played by Alauddin Khalji was in enlarging the whole complex, and he went on to create some other monuments in this time period. Now there is an iron pillar which is part of Qutub complex. It is said it is supposed to be I should say built by Emperor Chandragupta II or Chandragupta Vikramaditya of Gupta period. Chandra, in Brahmi, Chandra inscription is there on it. The key point is that it is one of the most famous rust resistant structure. So initially it is believed this iron pillar was not here. It was somewhere in Uttarakhand, somewhere in Himalayas, in Uttarakhand, I should say, in terms of territory. Now, apart from it, there are other monuments also at Qutub complex. One of them is actually created by again Alauddin Khalji. It is Alai Darwaza. Alai Darwaza. And the minaret which he wanted to be taller than Qutub Minar is known as Alai Minar. So Alai Darwaza is also one of the first example of true dome architecture. Apart from Balban's tomb in Delhi is an example of true arch. It is an example of true dome. Right to education, RTE 2009. It made education a fundamental right for every child in India. Fundamental right for every child in India. Fundamental right. Free and compulsory education. Free and compulsory education. Up to class 8th. Up to class 8 between 6 to 14 years. enforced as a fundamental right under Article 21A, 21A में बताया गया है. Till 2018, more than million government schools in India. Indian schooling system, one of the largest in the world, catering to about 250 million students. 250 million students. You know, education is a fundamental right of every child in India. They are, as I just said, entitled for free education up to 8. One child, one teacher, one book, one pen can change the world. This was said by Nobel laureate Malala Yousafzai. One child, one teacher, one book, one pen. United Nations has laid out a guideline for 4 A's for governments to fulfill child's rights to education. It proposes that the government make education available, accessible, acceptable, and adaptable. I repeat, available, accessible, acceptable, and adaptable. Constitutional background when we talk about, then originally part 4 of the Constitution, Article 45 and Article 39F of DPSP has a provision for state funded as well as equitable and accessible education. Equitable and accessible. First official document on the right to education was Ram Murthy Committee Report 1990. Ram Murthy Committee Report in 1990. In 1993, Supreme Court's landmark judgment in Unni Krishnan JP versus State of Andhra Pradesh and others. In 1993, Supreme Court went on to upheld the idea that education is a fundamental right following from Article 21. Tapas Majumdar Committee 1999, which set up and it encompassed insertion of Article 21A. So it is Ram Murthy Committee report in 1990 and then Tapas Majumdar Committee in 1999, which played fundamental role. 86th Amendment Act to the Constitution in India 2002 provided right to education as a part of fundamental right in part 3 of the Constitution. Same amendment, that is 86th Amendment, inserted Article 21A, which made education a fundamental right for children between 6 to 14 years. 86th Amendment Act. So 86th Amendment Act was responsible for in legislation also, that is Right to Education Bill 2008 and finally Right to Education Act 2009. So bill came up in 2008 and the act came up in 2009. So it is Ram Murthy Committee followed up by Tapas Majumdar, followed by 86th Amendment Act, followed by Education Bill, followed by Act in 2009. Right to vote. Our constitution has given every person above age of 18 right to vote. Not just the right but also the responsibility of a good citizen to vote during the election so that he can have a say in choosing the right leaders to run the government and make laws for the welfare of the people. Voting allows us to hold the elected representative or member of government accountable. If we are not satisfied with their work, not agreement with their views, we can change the government by voting them out in the last elections. Here is a picture which is showing Honorable late President Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam standing in a queue to cast his vote at polling booth during assembly elections of Delhi on December 1, 2003. You have American President Abraham Lincoln. He's saying democracy is the government of the people, by the people and for the people. Our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji in the recent summit of democracies, he said it is not only government of the people, by the people, for the people, it is with the people also. It is with the people also. That is what he went on to add apart from few other ideas. So part of fundamental right, yes. Secrecy is a part of fundamental right and it is part of freedom of expression. It is also part of basic structure. Democracy and free elections were a part of basic structure of the Constitution. On booth capturing or bogus voting, it should be dealt with iron hands because it ultimately affects the rule of law and democracy. Yes, right to reject also, it implies that the voter while voting has every right not to opt for any candidates during an election. So as far as child labor is concerned, in India the law prohibits the employment of children below the age of 14 at dangerous workplaces like construction sites, factory, garage. Government officials have to rescue and rehabilitate such children and punish their employers. Sadly, the law enforcement in our country is weak. A lot more is need to be done. Definitely, we are on the right path. So education plays a very important role in this. It equips children with the skills and it will help them in finding better, we should say, opportunities and better life. So Bachpan Bachao Andolan, it is an NGO funded by activist Kailash Satyarthi, which has rescued more than 90,000 children laborers. Satyarthi also founded Good Weave, an international scheme that certifies rugs as a child labor free. There are constitutional provisions. Article 23 of the Indian Constitution, any type of forced labor is prohibited. Article 24 states that child under Article 14 cannot be employed to perform any hazardous work. Article 39, health and strength of workers, men and women in the tender age of children must not be abused. These are very key provisions for the prelims examination. Thank you very much for understanding, and I hope it helps you in picking up key areas and you're going to work and make your notes further on them, thereby ensuring your success in the civil services exam in 2022 and other exams also. Thank you very much.